From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Yum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Yum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Yum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
It's just different. I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning, to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, fies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth a sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning, to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, fies.
All right, greetings and in Cash. Welcome to another Sync Talk. Talking about the power of synchronicity and how it helps to orchestrate our life. Really excited about today's talk because we're talking about not just having vision, but how integrity and focus will sustain the vision. So, what is a vision if we're not going to sustain, maintain it, and advance it into how we want to be able to have our experience? So, I'm really excited about the session. It's a lot of things that are coming up. So, those of you that are tuned in, you are truly in for a treat over this next, I would say, week or so. Tomorrow is also the spring equinox. So we're really in a powerful position with that in terms of really, if anything should be the start of the new year, it should be uh, that, right? The spring equinox every year. However, we got things kind of shook up and I want to get right into this whole idea about uh, will, how integrity and focus will sustain your vision. So, before you can have a vision, and I've talked about this in different sync talks, you must have a certain image of yourself. Now, this is not a physical image. This is more or less an image of how you see the power of God in you. So when I refer to the self, I'm not talking about how well groomed you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the power of God that's in you and how you see that image, that power in you, and its ability to support you in manifesting the vision. Now, this is very important because many of us don't see ourselves as worthy because of circumstances, because of judgments, because of past failures. But it's so important that we can see that all is part of the process of remembering. That's all a process of the journey of remembrance. And as we put ourselves back together as the full embodiment of the power of God in us in this physical form, we're able to carry forth any vision and materialize it on this physical plane. So that's why it's so significant. So with that, um, I want to definitely start with the prayer of the seven galactic directions because I want to bring into vibrational alignment this knowledge so that it helps you and it permeates you through the process. And so I want to give thanks to Lisa because Lisa Ken 165 did the prayer. I want to just touch on a couple of highlights of the prayer though, because it is sharing with you how you want your mind and your experience to be when you actually begin to focus. So when it says from the east house of light, may the light cause the wisdom to dawn in us so we can see in clarity. So we know clarity is the key no matter what we're doing, right? So I say this a lot before I go into meetings, etc. The next one, from the north, house of night. May the wisdom not just have clarity, but it ripen to the point that I can see and know everything from within. Now, ain't that powerful? Now you are the data bank at that point, right? You know everything from within. From the West, house of transformation. May the wisdom now be transformed to knowing all from within into the right actions so we can do the things that must be done. Now, this is the part that where discipline comes in and we may have to transform some things. From the South, house of the eternal sun. May right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. One of the things about that, when we actually uh, have right action, it's followed by a harvest. It's just the law. It's how it works. From above, Now that we have the harvest, the ancestors gather and their blessings flow. We're not blocking it with any judgments at this point. From below, the heartbeat of the earth, or the house of the earth, the heartbeat of our crystal core can help us in um, create the harmonies that end all war, right? So that's where compassion comes in. And then from the center of the whole galaxy, where we experience mutual love in our mind and nature become one. All right. So if you take that, whoever it is, it doesn't matter what your religion is, it doesn't matter what it is, that the clarity is going to help you be able to make decisions, knowing and having the confidence that the answers are already within, right? Knowing how to take right action and take it and do it is going to help you be successful. And all of this is preceded before we move into the vision and how it will sustain the manifestation of the vision. All right, so I just wanted to touch on that. I want to give some acknowledgments to the source of all creation, the earth, the ancestors, the star elders, the foundation for the law of time, Jewel University of Immortal Sciences, uh, Melanin Six, master teachers, the mimic priesthood, and the indigenous elders. I want to give acknowledgments to all those who have paved the way before us so that we can share this path of enlightenment with so many of you that are seeking the path of enlightenment for yourself. My name is Neb Taharka Kanish Kawak, and I am the founder and chancellor of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. We've done a lot of one-on-one coaching. We've done um, 21 now consecutive semesters of teaching the law of nature and the law of the whole mind so that we can operate in a more dynamic way in this body. So it's very powerful to be able to access and be present for such information. Who are we at the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment? We are a progressive group of cosmic beings that are highly intelligent, intuitive, telepathic, and laser beam focused on evolving throughout the journey of remembrance to fulfill our galactic purpose on Earth. Now, think about that. If we have a galactic purpose, once I discovered what my galactic purpose was, it made my earthly destiny that much better, that much easier to track. All right. We're online based in Atlanta, Georgia. We actually started in July of 2023, and we're accepting students from everywhere to share in this high science knowledge. And a lot of it has to do with, a lot of it's a hybrid, it's part self study and part live to give people the flexibility so that if they are in different time zones or they have different schedules, that they'll be able to plug in and evolve at the same pace as the next person who's right in the time zone that we're doing this. We're currently offering 12 courses. And we, again, focus on the law of time and its relationship with nature and how that works on our behold. And whole mind concept that does what we just talked about, helps improve our self-image. And we got some very strong economic initiatives for small businesses coming up in 2025. So that's very exciting to hear about. What is your KIN number and city you are logging in from? If you're new to this, if you don't know your KIN number, go ahead and put your city. We'll get you your KIN number. Your KIN number is the expression of the creator that you incarnated on when you were born into this reality. But this is so important because it's amazing that, so many people are in positions to network but don't network. And one of the biggest complaints that people have is they don't have nobody to talk to about this higher science kind of stuff, and it's really crazy because one of the things about it is that when we look at this, we say, all right, well, how do I sustain myself? How do I stay uh, motivated? Because this is a little bit different than what we were taught. Well, we have to create what we call a sense of family and a sense of destiny. And those who are like-minded individuals, we're in a position of supporting one another. We call this companions of destiny. Companions of destiny. And as we are able to identify that, what are companions of destiny? They are people that support you in carrying out your purpose. Those are some very important people, because there's enough people that may not want to support you on in your purpose for whatever reason. Okay, so those who log in later can feel free to chime in. I'm actually reaching out from Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And so one of the other reasons is somebody sees where you're located. They may message you on social media and say, hey, I'd like to know more about the cosmology. I didn't know you were in my area. Can we connect sometime? How great would that be? Because now we don't just have a digital support system. We also have a physical support system as well. So what is your kin and what is that all about? Let me just tell you a little bit about your kin. The day you were born on the 13 moon calendar, and we're seeing all kind of stuff online now where people are talking about it, that when you divide 365 by 13, right, you end up getting 364 and 1 day out of time. So that means that each month should be 28 days each. We got something drastically different than that with this Gregorian calendar, and this is part of the reason why that we're in a tailspin in terms of our evolution. So you getting your galactic signature is an evolutionary act. Your galactic signature is one of the 260 possibilities of the expressions of the creator. We also call that the Zolkin, or the harmonic module. This 260-day calendar is designed to help you evolve spiritually and tap into your cosmic memory. Very important. By playing the role of your galactic signature, you allow yourself, okay, you allow yourself, your mind, your body, and spirit to vibrate at that particular frequency. Now, you'll hear me talk a lot about that frequency is the new currency. That your frequency is going to determine the current events that are happening in your reality, right? So that particular frequency, and you broadcast it out to everyone around you. And guess what? Not only is this your gift to yourself, it's the gift to the world. So you start off with your galactic signature. If you're new, just send us your birth date. Okay. And by sending us your birth date, you will be able to, we will send you information on what expression you were born in or on. And there's an affirmation that comes with it to kind of help you get the idea. We call it your galactic incarnation, your declaration of incarnation. And so it's very powerful, because one of the most powerful forces in the universe is purpose. And when you know your purpose, there's nothing that can stop you, not even you at this point, right? So as we do this, we realize at the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment the power of evolved consciousness. And so because of these different calendars and programs that we've been submerged in to survive, right, to be in survival mode, we have gotten off track to our natural evolutionary trajectory. So if you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place, is by Lao Tzu. And from the information age, this is where we are evolving from, where we're informed, where everything happens to us, into the telepathic age, where we are able to influence what happens outside of us, and we come to that realization, is where we are now. And just last year, in the leap year, was the 441st year of the Gregorian calendar, according to the October 4th and 15th start day in 1582. And so what that meant is that we crossed over into a very significant period where the human race are now moving from where we were into almost like a superhuman in terms of the mental capabilities that we can tap into. So it's a very powerful stage that we're in. And many people have been realizing that they have certain powers, but they don't want to say nothing because they don't want people to think they're crazy. They don't want to say nothing because they don't want to feel like an outcast. But this is truly the age of telepathy, and people are coming forward like never before. We've even started a telepathic group called the Telepathic Remembrance Group 3 years ago. And we've done 3 semesters of remote viewing, retrocognition, precognition, and mind to mind telepathy. And it's been mind boggling. All right. But that's just the beginning because we are dedicated to helping to make telepathy the norm. All right. So while AI, little a, little I, is making its advancements, we're making our advancements into our human technology so that we can access all that the power of God has to offer us while in this body. So it's very powerful where it is that we sit. Now, I like to say, who owns your time, owns your mind. And here's the thing. If you don't like where you are, change your concept of time. And I want you to change your concept of time from a mechanical watch or digital watch, right? And a fallacious calendar. I want you to do this. I want you to change your concept of time to time is the evolution of consciousness. Think about that, right? I'm about to, in these 10 minutes, I'm about to evolve my consciousness and create ... a better version of myself. And you can't keep creating, evolving, and creating a better version of yourself and lose in your experience. So now change your time, change your concept of time, and change your mind. Change your mind, and you will change the world. You'll change your world, and then other people will change their world. So let's tap into how integrity and focus will sustain your vision. Okay. First, you got to have a self-image that you already know you can do it. You may not have all the resources, you may not have all the people, places, and things, but you have to know that the God in you is what? Able. And if you're not operating with the God in you being able, you're not going to be in a position where you're going to be able to not self-sabotage the operation. Does that make sense? You're going to self-sabotage because what's going to happen is you're going to look at the vision and you're going to say, oh my God, this is too big for me. I didn't do this when I was a parent. I didn't do that. You know, I fell short on this. I'm not worthy. And as soon as you say I'm not worthy, it's going to trigger you to say, wait a minute, I'm going to have to sabotage this. How many of you have done that? I've done it myself in the past where I was excited about something. I was going towards a vision and it just fell apart. Now, why I used to ask, why did that happen? Is it something against me or something? Yeah, it's me against me. It's something negative in the past that I didn't resolve that now is coming through and saying, oh, okay, y'all, you don't deserve this yet. And so I had to raise my deserve level. I had to say, wait a minute. I got the same thing everybody else got. So why wouldn't I deserve it? And there's people that have done far worse things than I have, that have far more than I have. Why? Because their self-image already sees that they are worthy. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not, we don't have to pay karmatic debts or whatever. Your belief system will determine that. But I'm just saying that just think about how you really see yourself is a huge part in what you're going to be able to create in this physical plane. All right. So let's look deeper into this. Now, the solution to getting your mind right, to being in the evolution of consciousness, is, of course, to evolve. That when you make evolution your number one priority, everything else is going to follow. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, whether it's your finances, your health, or what have you, it's a process. Right? Because we have to debunk some of the old thinking. But you're going to evolve and solve. Okay? It's easier to solve when you evolve. So what we've done is we studied the galactic Maya, the Olmecs, the Dogon, and we found that they were very sophisticated in how they followed calendrical systems. And upon following these calendrical systems, in fact, the galactic Maya was said to have followed up to 17 calendars at one time. Now, some people might say, why would I do that? Well, at those times, like I give example, the Dogon tribe, they were able to see stars and planets without a telescope. How were they able to do that? Through the telepathic medium. They would draw them on the walls, and some of the Westerners, they didn't know how in the world they could do that because they couldn't even see the planets like star Sirius with the telescope. So how could they see this so early? Telepathy. And then it was star Sirius was made it so powerful. They were following the cycles of star Sirius, which was helping them evolve a different kind of way mentally. Now, when we add technology plus the wisdom that we have, plus that knowledge, we really can reshape society. We really can take ourselves to a whole nother level if we allow the process to complete. And so one of those things is to realize that the Gregorian calendar is just flat out obsolete as it relates to us as humans evolving. Now, technology will evolve. We'll get smarter as it relates to technology evolving, but not smarter than technology unless we tap into our absolute intelligence and our human technology so that we can go beyond the programs into what? The synchronicities that bring the power of nature that can destroy any machine or any technology at any given moment. The coronal mass ejection from the sun can do it. I mean, it's so many things that can do it, but we have that kind of power, inert power inside of us. All right. So we follow the 13 moon cycles to access some of that energy. And those 13 moon cycles are in direct correlation with the female creation cycle. That's what's so powerful about it. So everything I talk about, we can find it in the body. So right now we're in the ninth cycle because this 13 moon calendar starts on July 26th every year. In the dog days of summer, what the Dogon and the star Sirius is the brightest. That's when it starts. And so we follow it. So we're in the ninth moon, the solar moon, and we're on the 13th day or 13th plasma. Now, the reason why we follow this, one of the reasons why it helps to disrupt the systemic programming from artificial calendars. It really helps get the left brain in its natural state. And it does create a conflict. And I like to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, because if I don't tell you the conflicts, it's like not telling you a punch is going to come. It's not the hardest punch that knock you out. It's the one you don't see coming. It's the one you don't expect, right? So I like to share the different conflicts and the things that come about so you can get by them faster. So the conflict most people have when they start studying the 13 moon calendar is their own programming, which has made them comfortable with limitations and following the synchronicities of nature, which are going to take us into a more expanded consciousness. But because we don't know everything and all the details and we're unfamiliar, it's unfamiliar territory, it can be a little scary. Okay, so when you start studying this, okay, what are my programs? We'll start with your personality. Your personality is quite a program because a lot of it is based on past experiences. So now you have to say, how does that evolve? We don't have to get rid of the personality, but how does it evolve so that I can access these synchronicities and these other powers that I didn't even know I had, right? So that's where we're headed. And so every day there is a kin, one of the 260 expressions that are combined with the 13 moon calendar, right? And today is expression 255 out of 260. It's called the Blue Galactic Eagle. Now, the evolutionary cycle, keep this in mind that we're in, is the evolutionary cycle of the artist or the creator, or one that beautifies and makes things better, the way shower, right? And so let's read the affirmation, because there's so much that can be just deciphered from the affirmation. Because today is Wednesday on the Gregorian calendar. So the only thing I know about Wednesday is that it's hump day, right? And then Thursday is Thirsty Thursdays, right? And then comes what? Thanks God it's Friday, TGIF, and we're working for the weekend. That seems like a real evolutionary expression of words and sentences. Is really not, right? We can't work for the weekend and be evolving. We can't be in the weekdays and evolving. We got to be clear, as the prayer said. So let's look at the affirmation. It states, I harmonize in order to create modeling mind. I seal the output of vision with the galactic tone of integrity. We're talking about that today. I am guided by the power of self-generation. Now, we say this affirmation 3 times to make it affirmative. I harmonize. I'm explaining on the second time. Now, what am I harmonizing? I'm harmonizing the ability to create as an artist and beautify and show others the way, right? As the way to love through art. Art is the first expression of love. You ever seen a great painting with somebody and you see the painting, you're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Somebody must have put so much passion and love into this. Well, that's what happens with the art. People can feel the love that was put into it, and they're touched by it. Even if they're musical artists, right, that has so much passion in what they sing. And that will jump into you because you can feel the love that they put into their work, right? So I harmonize in order to create, right? Modeling the mind of the creator, the artist. I seal the output of vision, right? So now I'm putting out the vision. If I'm putting out the vision, that means coming from my mind, and the vision is going out with the galactic tone integrity. So as soon as I put out the vision, I have the integrity to manifest the vision. So that even if I'm not who I am, I'm going to become who I need to be to manifest the vision. And I'm going to use the power of God to help that unfold in my life. I am guided by the power of self-generation. Self-generation is another self-gene ration. The gene ration of God is just, it's another way of saying the unconditional love for myself. Okay? One more time to lock it in. I harmonize in order to create. Modeling mind. I seal the output of vision with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of self-generation. All right. So how will integrity and focus, how integrity and focus will sustain your vision? What's your vision? You can start out with a small vision. And then what you want to do is begin with the vision in mind and work backwards. Now, I like to say, as I stated earlier, that when you are going to have a vision, you already have to decide and make the decision that your vision is so powerful that you couldn't even have a vision if you didn't have the self-image to bring it into fruition. Why would God give you a vision and not give you the power to manifest it? So what happens, these programs get us to psych ourselves out because of past traumas and experiences. And you have to block that out your mind and say, nope, what I'm going to do is I know without a shadow of a doubt that the power of God gave me the vision to manifest the vision. So therefore, I have everything that I need right now in terms of capabilities to do it. And if you tell yourself anything else, you'll either see somebody else with the vision, or you'll see yourself going through a feedback loop of getting knowledge and more knowledge and not manifesting the vision. Because you'll keep thinking you got to get more knowledge and more this and more that. Now, you may acquire knowledge through experience, but once that vision is in your heart of hearts, all the people, places, resources, and things are going to come together. So start out, what is your vision? Who are you before you even have the vision? Once you got the vision, you can't be a person to have a vision without having the power to manifest it. Or you would have never had the vision in the first place. The same power of the vision, right? Where the same power where the vision comes from is the same power. The capabilities to fulfill the vision comes from. So those two are one and the same. But a lot of the time people get into their own mind and they don't realize that. Okay. And so as you're putting your vision together, right, knowing that when you put this vision together, you already have the power to take it forward, right? The power to expand the vision, right? Now you want to lead with the vision and integrity and inspiration. Let me tell you something about integrity. We're going to go deeper into this with the cosmology. Integrity is the glue that holds everything together. Let me give you an example. Integrity, like there's almost a difference between truth and integrity. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. A lot of people tell the truth, but their truth does not hold up over time. For example, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to start this business, or I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Okay, well, guess what happens? Integrity means that you put all the things in place as if it was already successful, so it will sustain itself. But if I was, and I'll give you another example. Let's just say that you and your significant other was going to have a child, right? And so you're gonna bring a new soul into this experience. Okay, great. All right, but you ain't had no baby shower, you ain't got no diapers, you don't have no breast pumps, you don't have a warm place, you don't have any baby clothes, you don't have nothing. So you're out of integrity in terms of preparing for this new offspring to come. And so what's going to happen is it's not going to hold up. Either through neglect, you're going to harm the baby or get the baby taken away, right? Or you're going to cause it to miscarry through stress, right? So this is integrity. So when we have integrity with what we intend to do, we say, okay, well, we need to set everything up for it to be successful long term. Right? That's what integrity means. It holds it all together because you planned for it. You've done so much groundwork for your intention to manifest that it has to manifest and it has to stay long term. You see? So integrity is the glue that holds it together. It makes you be proactive instead of being reactive. All right? And so when you combine integrity with focus, you can't be stopped. Let me tell you the power of focus. You remember, I used to do this when I was young, and I would take a magnifying glass, create a laser, and burn paper, and I used to burn ant hills. I hate I did that. Now I should have left them ants alone. But I would get there. I would get in the sunlight, and I put my thing, and I'm just that. But what that's describing is that when you take the light, right, which is the vision, and you focus it into effort, right, you're going to burn a hole through any obstacles that are in your way and walk right through. The power of your focus is your meal ticket. It is your key to going through obstacles. Will there be obstacles? Absolutely. But your power of focus is going to roll right through it. So there's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. And that made-up mind means that mind is so focused that whatever gets in its way, it's going to roll right over it. So you want to definitely be able to put that in perspective. Now let's look at the qualities of the archetype, the ego, which is also known as the seer, and the spiritual name for the seer and the ego is men. Right? So here's some qualities of the ego. So when we study the cosmology, it's teaching us how to have a vision. It's teaching us integrity. It's teaching us these things. And so that's what I really like about it, because it's automatically teaching us this without us having to learn it in a book, really. So, number one, commitment. Are you committed to your commitment? Those who are committed to their commitment are laser beam focused. Here's another quality: compassionate service, global consciousness, dreams and visions, has a planetary mind. That means a big thinker, belief in oneself. Who's oneself? The power of God in you, and hope, right? The audacity of hope. Barack Obama wrote a book about that. It's pretty good. The audacity of hope, that if you take hope away, then there's no reason to live for many people, right? So you know that there's something you got to see beyond where you are. And sometimes that's enough to get you at least to the next stage. Now, I like to talk about the shadow of the wisdom of the eagle, the seer, the men, of men. And it's saying, here's the shadow of being an archetype. So it's focused. But look at what it says: being obsessed with service to others. Ooh, that's a big one, right? Here's another one: being the rescuer, saving others, right? So although it's good to be focused in compassionate service and all that, it can get obsessive to the point that you are thinking you got to rescue people. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because how do they develop? How do they deal with their karma, etc.? So there's a line that has to be drawn. Look at number 3, not able to say no. This is the shadow. So if you find yourself, if you're in this archetype, or even you're in the energy of today, and you find yourself with some of these shadow qualities, then you're in the shadow of the archetype. And so I'm going to show you in just a minute the shadow transformation, so you can transform right out of it. Look, loss of hope and meaning, right? That means you don't have no purpose no more. And feelings of futility, right? Feelings of futility. All right, let's look at the shadow transformation. Learn to temper service with nourishment and rest. This is something I had to do. You know, I'm actually in the evolutionary cycle. 239 is in the evolutionary cycle of the eagle. Right now, we're in the evolutionary cycle of the star. But in the evolutionary cycle of the eagle, I have to look at some of these attributes, because some of them I share. So learn to temper service with nourishment and rest. Hey, here's number 2. Believe in yourself. Now, when I'm telling you that, I'm not telling you in your physical abilities. I'm talking about the unlimited power of God in you that walks with you and talks with you and is there for you through every difficulty. You just got to call on that power, right? Follow your own visions and dreams. It doesn't mean you can't follow other people's visions and dreams, but make sure you follow some of your own. If you find yourself in the shadow, remember the purpose and commitment you have in the larger scheme of things, the larger pattern. All right. So this is powerful. These are simple things that I have found that make a huge difference in this busy society and what I call this distraction type society. We're distracted by so many things, but these are things that we don't want to be distracted from or with, because this keeps our power of focus, and this keeps us being able to experience and design our life accordingly. All right. So famous people, I couldn't find a lot of famous people at this archetype at the moment, but we're going to build a list. And so Dr. J, Julius Erving, the famous basketball player, is actually Kin 155. Okay, he's the eagle. So if you just think about how he played the game, he could fly like the eagle. He was before Jordan, right? He could fly. And everybody wanted to be like Dr. Dre, because he was the highlight because of his gracefulness and his ability, his athleticism. Okay? So there's plenty of people. And I want to make a couple of announcements before we wrap up and take any questions. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a Get Familiar with Your Kin session. It's facilitated by myself on some occasions and Moon Goddess Ambrosia. Let me tell you, she is incredible. And just looking at as she's building her online presence and her experience in tarot card readings and oracle card readings. And she's like the oracle reader for the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. It's incredible to just listen to her perspective and her gracefulness, enroll you in how this can help you evolve in your life. So very, very powerful. That's going to be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So if you're watching this and you say, I need to know some more about that, Ken, it would be a great time for you to plug in and get the information. All right. And on this Sunday, we will be talking about on amplify your purpose session while living in the new time. Your energy is a magical elixir for success. So we talk about focus, we talk about vision and self-image, but everything takes energy. So how do you preserve your energy? How do you advance your energy? How you focus your energy in the places that's going to expand it through inspiration versus drain it through disillusionment. Right? So this is going to be a very powerful session. We have this session every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're all welcome to attend. It is a very powerful session, and we do it every Sunday. And we have a topic, and we have an assignment, and we expect to evolve from it. We really do. All right? We wouldn't do it. And on Monday, this is the big one. We have the 260 Quantum Leap Meditation. This is where we are calling all the kin to our meditation and chant so that we can assemble the galactic brain from all the expressions of the Creator to access the cosmic mind, the mind that created the cosmos, to give us insights, okay, on moving deeper into this telepathic evolution and also give us insights. And we'll get those insights collectively and individually. And so you want those insights to help you evolve down the path and based on where your consciousness is. It's going to be a powerful session. It's going to last about an hour, but it will change your whole outlook on life and experience in terms of what you're able to do as a being. So don't miss that. You can register. We put the registration link up here. Get registered. Be front and center. This is a very powerful, because on every Kin 260, we have been having this, and we have been advancing, many of us, in ways that we didn't think we could, because we're putting our minds together, we're putting our intelligence together, and we're accessing a greater part of us than we could have by ourselves. Okay? All right. So any questions about how integrity and focus will sustain your vision? Integrity is so important. Once you have the integrity, which means you have set yourself up for success. You ain't just talking. That's what your mouth say. You are setting yourself up for success. If you're saying you're going to do something, you're making the plans as if you're already doing it, even if you haven't done it yet. Right? If you want to get good at a sport, well, hey, I'm gonna play a sport. Okay, well, I'm gonna start practicing now. I'm gonna practice every day right now until I get to try out for the team. And so you ain't gonna wait to try out for the team to practice, because it's gonna be very difficult for you to be able to beat the other people out that's already been practicing. So you got to have the integrity from your heart that I'm going all the way. Okay. And then once you know you got the integrity, because you put things in place for you to win, now you focus like there is no tomorrow. Okay. It's a very powerful process, and you can accomplish anything that way. And not only will it accomplish your vision, it will sustain your vision and help you build anew other places. So definitely feel free to email me if you have any questions at nebtaharka@synchronisticihuman.com. If this message has enlightened you in some way and you feel it in your heart to give a donation, by all means, that's one of the best ways to receive is to give. I found that out as well. All right. So I want to end with our declaration of evolution. And we say this just about after every session because sometimes you have to declare and decree your evolution so that you can advance yourself even when you don't feel like it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I and then say your name. And I'm going to say my name, but I'm going to ask you to say your name. I won't be able to hear your name. You'll hear me say my name. Hereby declare that I will. And those of you that feel comfortable, do this. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? So here we go. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will make evolution my number one priority. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will clear any karma associated with my existence once revealed. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will discover, carry out, and become my purpose. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will remove any judgments that I have of myself and others. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will look for and remove any spiritual blockages or misalignments. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will end any cycles that don't support my evolutionary process. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will show compassion for all beings and all the species on the planet. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will be patient with my process and others going through their processes as well. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will be disciplined and focused when things get challenging. And make no mistake about it, things will get challenging. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will listen to my intuition and carry out its instructions when received. And lastly, I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will ultimately strive for self-mastery. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe, oh, and so it is. So therefore, on behalf of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, I'd like to thank all of you for listening, and all of you, all of the students, and all of the future students. We're looking forward, even to all of you that's going to be in the 260 Galactic Kin Meditation. I want to thank you for listening in, and I look forward to evolving as one. We are uniting on one premise, and that's evolution. All right, so with that being said, in Lakesh means I am another you. Alakin means you are another me. Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. Watch the video on the way out. Peace.